Hey, hey everyone, this is Kyle once again, and welcome back, and now we're here to do the prequel, to the 2003 remake, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Beginning. Released in October 6, 2006, 3 years after the remake. This film sucks. That's what I've said. Yes, I do enjoy the original. I do enjoy the remake. I really do. Really, I enjoy that film a lot. Then you get this prequel, which, like I said, I don't like prequels. When I mentioned in my Tremors 4, I said I don't like prequels, and I said that is one of the better ones, better prequels. This film just sucks myself. This is I hate this film. I really do. It is Tremors 4. Tremors 4: The Legend Begins. This is a way better prequel than this film. To me, how dumb, how even though I don't care how the grab boys, how they hatch from the eggs, even though that's a better origin story than this. Okay, so. But it's also a shame because this film was directed by Jonathan Liebesman, who directed Los Angeles, which I really do enjoy, especially with Aaron Eckhart in it. But he also directed Wrath of the Titans, which was very boring, and he's directing the new upcoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot. Yeah, so the guy who's directing a Nickelodeon reboot of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, is the guy who directed this. I mean, Dallas Angeles, that's his best film. Not like 50 times better than this film. Yeah, the film was a box office success. To be honest on that. It had a much more bigger budget than the remake. It was only a $13 million budget, and total worldwide it made $51 million, but it was still less than what the remake made, more than half what the remake made. So yeah, the movie was still a success. Made $51 million worldwide, and once again produced by Michael Bay. What is his name? Because Jonathan Liebesman directed this, and Michael Bay is producing, and now Michael Bay is producing that film. Them back to working together again. But this film had much more negative reception than the remake, so this received more negative feedback than the remake. But unlike the remake, which that film opened up #1 at the box office, this only opened up #2 behind The Departed with Leo DiCaprio, Mark Wahlberg, and Jack Nicholson. Yeah. And this is one was even with this bad, it was also nominated for a Golden Razzie Award for worst prequel or sequel. To me, that should have won that award, because this is pure shit, So yeah, and the thing is with prequels, I already know how it's gonna begin, So you don't need to. To me, you don't know how. I don't give a crap how how Leatherface was born, because it takes place in 1939, where a woman who's working in the meat factory, what you saw in the remake, where Jessica Biel was running to the meat factory. Yeah, it's that meat factory in this. So in 1939, woman, all of a sudden she gives birth to a child while working there. Her heart breaks and she gives birth. But the dumb, of course, even though he was ugly, even though the baby was ugly and deformed, though, the asshole manager, just goes and chucks the baby in the trash. Yeah, even if I saw it was ugly and deformed, I would not throw the baby in the trash can, though. But he had to look at the baby so much, so he just goes and throws it away in the trash. So, but then the lady from the remake, who was the owner of the barbecue place, she was like looking for food, searching for food, and she goes and finds the baby, and she takes him in and names him Thomas. And then it shows pictures over the next years, of Thomas's face being covered up because his deformed face. But then it goes in 1979. It takes place about it's 4 years before the remake, 1969. And he's working in the meat factory. He has like this bandana that's coming up, covering this much of his face, this part of his deformed. The meat plant is going out of business, and the manager there tells this guy, he needs it's closed out, so he gets this guy, tells Leatherface, you need to get out of here. And the guy says, you gotta get out of here, big dumb animal. And he stops. And he's still holding the meat cleaver in his hand, but then he just drops it. But but later on, when the manager is packing, tells him, go away, we're out of business, and your family's the only one stupid enough to live in this town. And he goes and attacks him with a sledgehammer, breaks his legs, and hits him in the head. And then he sees the chainsaw just sitting there. That's how we got the chainsaw, because it was just sitting there on the table. Wow. So that's how we got this. So we got that big chainsaw. It was just sitting on the table, laying there. So then he's walking back home, and yeah, then they had the Sheriff Hoyt, the real Sheriff Hoyt, because in the remake, Ermey, he was called Sheriff Hoyt, but in this, the real sheriff, he comes in and takes Ermey. Yeah, it tells him that you can't have a creature around that normal folk, he needs to be put away, And honestly, I did not watch this for a long time, but after recently watching it again, I just realized that guy who played the real Sheriff Hoyt, that is actually actor Lou Temple, which actually really not. He was the guy who played Axel on the TV series adaptation of The Walking Dead. Yeah, on the show Walking Dead, that guy Lou Temple, he played Axel as one of the surviving inmates in the prison in season 3, which he got shot and killed by the governor. That was and I liked him in that. I liked him in the show, but once again, killing off characters, even though probably he's not a main character, so we don't care about him. So, but to me, I cared. I liked Axel in that show. And he gets killed. The last surviving inmate gets killed. Just want to point that out, though. So yeah, that was Lou Temple. He played the real Sheriff Hoyt in this. So they drive in. He sees Leatherface walking with the chainsaw. He stops, and then the sheriff is such a dumb idiot. He gets out of the car, and Ermey is still sitting in the car, and he gets out of the car and he leaves he has a shotgun right sitting on the dashboard. Yeah, that's real smart. You leave the shotgun with Ermey sitting in there, who's about to the sheriff's about to arrest him. You can leave the shotgun on the freaking dashboard, just for him to grab and take. So yeah, which in case he does, he takes a shotgun and kills him. I believe he shot him in the head, I think. So, why did you kill the whole sheriff department, And that's how he became. That's how he became the sheriff. I don't care about that. I don't care how he I don't care how Leatherface got the chainsaw. I don't care how he got to be a sheriff. I thought, So he takes the dead body and puts on his clothes, and I think they use the rest of that sheriff's body as dinner to eat, So then it cuts to you have your another set of teen characters, You have Chrissy, the lead girl Chrissy, which is played by Jordana Brewster, who was one of the lead girls in the Fast and Furious franchise, who the character who's in love with Paul Walker in the Fast and Furious films. And I also remember she was also in the sci-fi Robert Rodriguez film The Faculty. She was in that and the Fast and Furious franchise. She's a lead in this. and with her boyfriend Eric, played by Matt Boomer, and the other couple, Dean and Bailey. Dean played by Taylor Hanley, and Doria Bird, I think it was called. So yeah, they're at this motel, and they're driving their Jeep, and Eric and Dean are brothers. Eric is the older brother. He was like a veteran, I think, from the thing was like a Vietnam veteran, and his younger brother, he got this draft card. He wanted to burn it, while they're in the Jeep, He wanted to burn it, but it wasn't the glove department. So they're driving. They stopped at this place where their bikers are. So they keep on driving along, and then the female a female biker that was when it stops from is chasing them. Then the Jeep goes the guy Eric, he reaches to the glove department to get a gun, but all of a sudden he wasn't seeing where he was going. They hit a cow, and the Jeep flips over. So they get flipped over. Jordana Brewster, she gets thrown from the Jeep, in the tall grass, but the other three are still stuck in the Jeep. The biker girl has a shotgun, but Ermey, he comes in, he shows up, and all of a sudden just shoots the girl. And he takes the other three and puts it in his car, while Chrissy follows them to the Hewitt house. Tells to call for Thomas to drag the dead girl out. They take the other three with them. The two brothers, they get hung in the back of the house, while the other girl is taken into the house. Arlie, he wraps a plastic wrap around the older brother and tells who was that your draft card, and the brother owns up and said that was his. So he tells him he can walk free just by doing 20 simple push-ups, but also that Ermey is hitting him with a stick, the heart, and the brother keeps encouraging him to, come on, you can do it, you can beat this. And he tells him, yeah, since he's done, he says, oh, you're free now, but he's too weak to get up though. Then you get the old guy in the wheelchair. He drives a tow truck, and he's towing their Jeep, the wrecked Jeep, and it's in. Chrissy is hiding underneath it, weren't being caught. She runs back to the road and tells that the other biker who was with the female biker tells that he needs help, but he turns down to ask her that he got your girl in there, so he follows her to the house. Then it comes back to the brothers. They get free, and he tries to distract while the brother gets away, but the guy Dean, he gets his foot caught in a bear trap, and the older brother Eric, he gets knocked out. And he gets knocked down, and he's tied, pinned down to the table in the basement. Then it's nighttime, and the girl asks her the girl's in there, but he says, no, I don't want your help anymore. He goes inside. He goes inside. He shoots the old guy in the leg, one of his legs. He takes Arlie Ermey hostage. He tells her, where's the girl? Takes her upstairs. Where Dean's girlfriend, who's tied to the bed, tells him, no, that's not the right girl. And he says, oh, you don't want to see the other girl. But then he's yelling for Thomas. And he hears that he gets his chainsaw, gets in a fight. And the biker guy, he lands on the blade, and Oliver telling Leatherface, like, hold on, do it, and he does, and cuts the guy in half. And then there was another as of course, oh no, it's not that part yet. He goes back downstairs. He goes back to the basement while Chrissy's down there trying to get her boyfriend free, but he can't, because then she goes hides underneath the table, and Leatherface starts to chainsaw again and stabs into the guy. And then he cuts off his face and puts on his own. But then she tries to escape, but she gets caught and she gets tied down. She gets tied down, toward to the dinner table, where the girl and the younger brother Dean are there. You know, he's unconscious. You know, once again before that, where the old guy got shot in the leg. You know, in the remake, he had no legs and he's in a wheelchair, so I already knew what happened. You know. Of course, it shows Leatherface cuts the guy's leg off, but then Leatherface Arlen says, "Oh, that's a little sloppy. You gotta take out the other one." And I was like, and the older woman is like, "Don't. Why'd you do that for?" And he says, "For balance, even it out, you know." So that's how the old guy got his legs cut off. How he lost his legs because he got his legs cut off. I already knew that since I first saw that character in the remake, you know. Yeah, I'm guessing he had his legs cut off. I already knew that's why I don't like prequels. I already knew what was going to happen. So they're at the dinner scene, they're praying, you know. Leatherface cuts the girl's throat with the scissors. He's calling for Dean's help, but Arlen says he ain't coming back, you know. So Leatherface picks her up. She stabs him in the back with a screwdriver. She jumps through the window and starts running. Leatherface falls behind, and because Ermey and the little woman saying she's worried that she's gonna tell the whole world what we did. Dean wakes up, sees his girlfriend is dead, so he gets like I think it was like a hammer. He beats Ermey up, like smacks his face on against the wooden porch, and he loses some of his teeth, you know. Because also I didn't mention in the remake where Ermey is driving with Jonathan Tucker in the back of his car, you know. And when he loses a tooth, he says, "Oh, look at you! You know, we have something else in common, you know." Because Ermey pulls out his front some false front teeth. It's like, look at that, you know. That's how we indicate how he lost his front teeth, because he had that. He has his face smashed in. So that's another thing. How he had his missing front teeth? Oh, because he got his face smashed against the wooden porch by Dean. So they follow her to the meat factory. She hides from in this thing where had I think it was like a pool of blood, I think, of animal blood. She cuts him again, but then she gets thrown to the ground, about to be killed. And Dean jumps in and hits Leatherface once, and he gets stabbed from the back and gets raised up and gets thrown against some lockers, and he's dead. She escapes again. She gets the keys to gets the keys to the manager whose dead body was there still. Gets the keys to his car, and she drives away. And she's driving. She sees some people, a cop pulling some guy over. Now here's what a really extremely dumb thing happened. As he's approaching those people that's ahead of him, Leatherface pops up in the back seat and starts the chainsaw and just drives through the seat and through Jordana Brewster. And she swerves and kills those two people. Runs them over. Now here's a question. If you're driving a car, how can you not notice? How can you not freaking notice? Like how big Andrew Bernarski, he still plays Leatherface like he did in the remake, and he's a bit. It shows how he's a big guy. And how can she not notice this 7 or 6 foot guy, a big guy, in the backseat of a car with this long ass chainsaw, and is able to maneuver in such a tiny space in the back seat, and she doesn't notice that. How can you notice a big guy with a big chainsaw in the back seat of a car? You do not notice that. My God. That was to me that was just the dumbest thing, and that was the dumbest, stupidest thing in the entire film. Stupid. Not noticing a big person with a big chainsaw in the backseat of a car. Yeah, she must have been as blind as a bat, She did not notice that though. So yeah, they all die. He gets out of the car and walks in the middle of the road back to the house. And of course, the narrator saying they killed more people over the next few years. And that's the end of the movie. This film freaking sucks. This film freaking sucks. I don't know what more I can say. I don't know more I can say about this. This film, I just don't know what more I can say. This film freaking sucks. I enjoy the remake a lot better than this. There was no point in making this. It was a prequel that we already know we're going to get our answers from. Questions that did not need to be answered. It's the same with the Thing prequel, or the Star Wars prequel, or especially Prometheus. Like I said, there are a couple prequels I do enjoy, especially the Tremors 4, The Legend Begins. To me, that's a much better prequel than any of these prequels. Well, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom is a much better prequel too. So yeah, there are like what? There's like two prequels the two prequel films that I like. Maybe there might be another one, but I just can't remember because this film is just too much. It's getting to my brain again, and now it is kind of getting me all messed up and confused. So yeah, it is like I said, it has a 12% on Rotten Tomatoes, much lower than the remake, and it has a much more lower rating on IMDb. Yeah, it has a 5.7 on IMDb. To me, that's just, like the remake has a 6.1 on IMDb. This one has a 5.7 on IMDb. To me, that's just way too high. It deserves lower. It deserves much more lower than a 5.7. I don't get it. So, yeah. Granted, movie was a success, but it was much less than the remake. So yeah, so that's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning. The film freaking sucks. The end. Later.